I want to start off by singing the Welcome Back Carter song, but I haven't been gone that long. It just took a little holiday break. But anyways, welcome back to the first episode of the Ave Podcast for 2026. I'm joined by DJ Keo and DJ Chris Nice as we do the conversation about the Voodoo album. This is something that I want to end off the year with, but then I just decided, you know what, man, I was extremely tired and I just wanted to take a break and just enjoy the holidays a little bit with the family. So we recorded this during the holiday break, actually. So, you know, I think D'Angelo passing away had a huge impact on R&B, and just to revisit that album, I think it was just important for the culture, just the way the way everything was promoted during that album run was it kind of had an overshadowing effect on the album. So with that said, we talk about some of the most underrated important tracks of the album. We discuss if Voodoo can be separated from the Untitled song and video phenomenon. And then we have interesting conversation about Rihanna in terms of if she should come back to music. So thank you for locking in with us for the first one of the year. Definitely appreciate you guys. With that said, South Shore Ave is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And before I get into the whole thing about where you can listen to podcasts and everything else, I'm retooling the stoop. All right. It's something that I used to do for probably the first 7-8 years. The pandemic kind of slowed it down a little bit. I will share more details towards the end of the episode. That one was sitting in the can for a little bit, so I am unleashing that on the public for 2026. Yeah, I can't wait for this year, man, because this is one of the few projects that I've been working on, for 2026. So this is a preview to that. And like I said, I'm going to dive into more details of it as time goes along, but stay tuned for that because that one will come out next week. All right. Now, going back to the apps, Apple Podcast, Spotify, TuneIn, Alexa, the YouTube channel, the South Shore Ave. Make sure you hit all of that. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. Those 5 stars, click on each and every one of them for me like you trying to reach for the sky and grab them and put them in your bag and send them my way so I can get some money. Anyways, hit me with it. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. And make sure you click on SouthShoreAve.com for the catalog. Once again, that is SouthShoreAve.com. I appreciate you for locking in for these last... Man, it's been a minute. March will actually be 10 years that I've put out my first podcast. And I'm approaching my 300th episode. So a lot of milestones coming this way quickly. So just taking a look at everything and just being very appreciative. I'm feeling very appreciative right now. I'll say that much, man. So thank you, everybody, for like I said, for listening and for watching. All right. It's the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio. No, ain't nobody taking a shirt off for this podcast.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast, where I am joined by friends of the podcast at this stage of the game. We're recording this on the last couple of days before 2025. This episode is going to be put out in the first couple of days of 2026, so it's kind of like a bridge. This episode is like a bridge between the 2 years. But I'm joined by Mr. DJ Keo, DJ and producer, and I'm joined by friend of the podcast as well, Mr. DJ Chris Nice. How you guys doing today?
Good. What's up?
What's up, man? Good to be back.
Yep, back at it.
How much drinking have y'all done this last?
Not enough.
Days?
A lot, man. A lot.
Not enough for me, man. I went light this year.
Not blackout, but a lot. I'll say a lot.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot either, to be honest. Yeah, I'm kind of done a lot. I think Sunday was actually the first time I had a drink. Actually, which is crazy.
Oh, for real?
I'm surprised. I'll make up for 2 years though.
I'm disappointed at myself, man. This year I'm like a lightweight. I barely drank. The sad thing is, I think I drank more at an event than I did at home. And to me, that's pathetic.
Nah, man, I was turning up this week.
For real.
I had a good time. I was watching Lord of the Rings turned up, right?
I'm hoping that's me for New Year's Eve. That's the plan for New Year's Eve, man. Food, and I'm gonna try.
Oh, absolutely for the year.
I'm gonna try to see how close I can get to that drunk line.
Nah, man, it was a good weekend, all right? It's expensive, but it was a good weekend.
That's what the holidays are about, man. Having a good time. But good to be back, though, Calvin.
Very good weekend, man. Very good week so far, man. I appreciate it. But yo, like I said, man, we're here for two reasons. Number one, because I've been saying it for like a good part of the year that I wanted to wrap up the year, or at least, you know, to talk about the 25th anniversary of Voodoo at this stage, because for D'Angelo, it was arguably his best album, you know, depending on where you want to have that fight between that and Brown Sugar. But the fact that he passed away, I know we did an episode on that just recently, Keo, but like, yeah, no, it was like definitely wanted to discuss like this album for at least a little bit. And then I wanted to wrap up on a unique topic. I know not a lot of people are thinking about this particular topic regarding this this icon of this generation, but I figure we'll get into that in a moment. You know, which is Rihanna, but we'll start with Voodoo. So I would ask, I'll start with you, Chris. Actually, what do you think? Like, when you think of Voodoo, like, what's your thought process? What do you think of that album?
I mean, I loved it, but I was kind of, I guess because it was the first one, I was more into the Brown Sugar. Like that album meant more to me, is because, you know, I actually had a backstory with that album. I got a call from somebody in New York back in the days, and he said he's got somebody he wants me to listen to. I think I told you that story, Calvin. He sent me a cassette, and it was a demo for some guy. You know, this is before they put the album out, and I remember it was Brown Sugar was on it. So for that demo before the album came out, it was something special. I gotta dig it up. I'm pretty sure I still have it. So having that attachment that I actually heard a song or two before the album even came out, that album more means something to me when it comes to D'Angelo than the Voodoo one. You understand what I mean? Even though I think both of them were dope, but that album will always hold a special place. You know, like every time I saw the cassette, it was like, yo, I had this before, like the streets, like people on the streets, you know, knew who D'Angelo was. Yeah. You know what I mean? So because of that, and then to tell you the truth, like back in those days, I mean, Lady and stuff, oh my God. I mean, those songs to me was, when that just dropped, that was so dope. What it did to me, Voodoo didn't do the same thing, because it's like it couldn't top it, because that was the first and because of my introduction to it.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense. Because of that, it holds a more special place for me than the Voodoo one. Even though I can't lie, when Primo did Devil's Pie, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, what is this?
That's the first song I heard off of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy right now." Like 7 more of these, it's gonna be done.
And I'm a huge Roberta Flack fan, like huge. I grew up on Roberta Flack. You can't tell me nothing bad about Roberta Flack. Mm-hmm. So when he did Feel Like Making Love, I was like, okay, all right, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was like, nice. It was nice that he paid homage to, you know, one of my icons. You know what I mean? Unique way. Yeah, on the Voodoo album. So both albums was dope. Don't get me wrong, but to me, the Brown Sugar to me will always hold a special place compared to the Voodoo.
Yeah.
And I'll add though, because I know we had a discussion on this too, that like I feel like, especially coming from a DJ perspective, Brown Sugar was probably more DJ friendly than Voodoo was, because Voodoo was more
friendly.
That was for your car, that was for lounges, that was for date nights, that was for, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Spoken word, that was for all that shit, right? But Brown Sugar was for like the radio and the clubs, and they at least had more club and radio friendly.
The songs were they're more in the format for DJs or a radio kind of thing. And Brown Sugar Voodoo is more like just, I'm being creative. I'll do whatever I feel like. There's 5-minute songs and 7-minute songs on this album.
Yeah.
Like, it's not radio friendly. It's not designed to be radio friendly. I would say probably Left and Right. I wouldn't say Devil's Pie because that was kind of dark. But I'd say like Left and Right with Method Man. Like that would probably be like radio, and Untitled. That was a big radio hit. But like the album was just more like vibing, like kind of the Roots, that vibe, that style, whatever. Like it was just cool. It was cool like to listen to. Like for me, I met him while he was recording this because we were mixing our album at Electric Lady.
Nice.
And so I never got to hear the album, right? I was basically a nobody, and Tip was there, and he was like, "Oh, D'Angelo's here in the studio." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "That's pretty cool." Like,
are you talking Brown Sugar or Voodoo?
No, Voodoo. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was Tip. We were at Electric Lady, and Tip was like, "Yo, D'Angelo's down. He's in the other room." And he just,
for people who don't know, when he says Tip, he's talking Q-Tip. This guy's you're making it sound like that's an everyday thing. Like, do you realize who you're talking about? That's Q-Tip for people who don't know.
That's
for people who aren't connected like that. That's Q-Tip,
right? Come on, but so
and that's Mr. Q-Tip.
Yeah. But like he just, I got to meet him. I wish I had like an iPhone or something like that, because taking pictures and stuff is so common. It's like it's no big deal today. I have a Nokia flip phone. I'm like, I'm gonna take a picture. I'm just happy to be there. I'm just happy to be in the studio.
Yeah.
And so like I got to meet him.
You guys will probably look at you like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna take a picture with you. Like this, you can imagine the time frame between all this stuff. Like this was like 98, I think. It was around then. It was
it's so true.
2000. Nobody had any phones.
Yeah,
I like a proper phone. You had like big Nokia bricks and stuff like that. So it burns me that I was able to meet all these important people. I have no pictures, like zero pictures, no evidence.
And then sometimes you're telling people these backstories, and you wonder, do they think I'm full of shit?
Yeah, like
you have nothing to confirm it, like nothing.
The studio, I got no pictures, man. Same thing with J-Law, man. It irks me. Like I've seen some stuff, and I got no evidence of it. But yeah, so I got to meet him. He was super chill. Like he was really cool. And he was like in the middle of recording the Voodoo album.
Nice.
And like it was just him. Like he was in a room with a big piano, and that was it. That's all that was there. There's nothing else. He had no help, no whatever, no other people producing anything. Just him doing chords, whatever, fooling around. In an expensive studio. It's a ridiculous studio. And he's just chilling. Came outside, got some drink. He was like, "What's up?" And that was it. I was like, "Okay, that's great." But like that, honestly, that was a moment for me because I didn't realize he was doing this Voodoo album at the time. Like it was like a little bit after then it came out. I'm like, "Holy crap, man! I was there when this was happening." I wish like I was more like because you could have walked back there because we're inside the studio. There's like it's open after that. So I could have just walked back to "Oh, sorry, bro, wrong room. What you working on?" Like, it's like, "Oh man, let's see what you're playing with." But like, it was cool though. He was super chill with this thing, with the music and everything. That he was super chill. And it was just him. There's nobody else, no entourage, nothing. Just him.
Wow. And you tell this story 10 times. There's gonna be one person out of that 10 that when you walk away, then you'll be like, "Man, that guy's so full of shit." Oh man,
yeah.
This generation
the thing that's crazy, though, Keo, is you're. I was going to say that the crazy part of the Keo story that he's not like referencing is that you did this during the Soulquarians time.
Yeah.
So because I know Electric Lady and that studio was super popular with like a bunch of artists from the Roots and and D'Angelo and Common and Erykah Badu and Jay Dilla. There was like a million. That whole movement was part of that Electric Ladies studio thing. I mean, that's a legendary studio.
Yeah. So
like, a lot of classic albums and material came from that
stuff
studio,
came out there.
The
only reason why we went there is because the guy who was our sound engineer for the album, his name's Ricky St. Hilaire. He did stuff for Buster, a bunch of people. He mixed their albums, and so I think he did some ghost mixing on Alicia Keys' first album. And there was another, I forgot the other artist that was with there. Because there's two artists that was on, what's the label? With Clive, was Clive Davis's label?
Jay.
Yeah. So he was there, and there's another artist. So Ricky, the engineer, he was working on stuff, fixing things. And so he wanted to go to Electric Lady because it had the prestige of being there and the sound, and they had the big SSL board. So, like, the key part was about being there for the board. So, I'm like, I don't know Jack, right? I'm just happy to be there, just to fly on the wall. So, that's the only reason why we're that Electric Lady. And I think we got lucky booking the room. And it just so happened to be the intersect of the time with the album. And it's crazy, man. Just like, these experiences that it don't mean a lot to you at the moment. Yeah. It's like, yeah, whatever. Because, in my brain, I'm always thinking, like, oh, we're going to see this again. I'm gonna do something else somewhere else. It's gonna be amazing, and this stuff never happens again. So once in a moment time, you meet somebody making a classic album, and that's it. You meet for like 5 minutes, and that's it. And you never see them again.
That's crazy.
And now you appreciate it completely different now.
Yo, I look at that album so different now because I was there. I could see I was there. Like it has got a special place in my heart. That's why, like for you, for Brown Sugar, like that's the thing for you on the mount. Voodoo was my thing.
Was your thing?
I feel like I was there.
Yeah, I'm totally understandable, man. It's just a shame you couldn't get pictures, man.
Yeah, man, it burns me. You didn't have the phone. There was no cameras on phones back in the day.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, unfortunately, man, I remember. And I used to walk with my camera, but it was more like for music conferences and stuff. So there's times I'd be in New York, and when in New York, you get invited to let's say like a album release party or something like that, and you're standing in there like, holy shit. And there's nothing you could do. You're running into this celebrity, that celebrity, and it means nothing because you have nothing to show for it.
You're just telling stories at this point. That's how everybody used to talk about this. I did so-and-so, I did so-and-so, whatever. Like, it's a big deal. But like, now it's like you need to pull this thing out. Where's it? Where's your pictures?
Man, from they step off, it's in your story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they're like, pics, or it didn't happen. Pics,
or it didn't happen.
Or it didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah, like when I tell some of my stories, that's how it feels. It feels like sometimes, every now and then, I think, I wonder if this person thinks I'm full of shit.
Yeah, because I think all this stuff happened at a different time, man. It was a different time.
Yeah.
If you got to just being in New York, you just run into people. Just being there. You have to go anywhere special. Just be like Jamaica Ave or whatever. You just run into people. And other thing too, I think that's crazy about music is that they weren't as separated as they are today. Like you're never gonna walk down the street and see Drake in a billion years ever for anything, unless it's like some special store opening or it's like he's at the Raptors thing, and you're like 10 miles away. You're never gonna see them. Back in the 90s, I used to see Wu-Tang all the time, man. This guy's just chilling on the Ave. It's whatever, man. It's a bunch of artists just out in the street, like no big deal. It's crazy.
Just strolling.
Yeah, and especially because New York
and New Yorkers don't get shocked by that celebrity. That's the thing too.
Yeah, no, it's the music.
That's the
like people,
in New York, they don't get shocked by any of that shit.
Yeah, you just see people all the time. Like it's nothing. It's no big deal. Like especially like if you're from Brooklyn, you see people from Brooklyn. Like it is what it is. Like you're supposed to see them. You're supposed to go back to your neighborhood.
Yep. You'll be in the club and they're like, yo, there goes Nas. You're like, oh shit, yo, there goes Hov.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot, you know what I mean? It's
at the tunnel or whatever, man.
They don't get freaked out, especially if they're local. They don't get freaked out by it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
there.
but now it's like it's true. It's like everybody's in their own worlds.
It's everything's so separated, man. You can't walk into anybody by accident.
That's so true.
But that's the funny thing now. Like talking about this whole Aquarians thing, like that's what makes me. It's interesting now thinking about with your conversation, because I'm like, you're probably never going to see something like that again, where everybody's in one major studio, passing along ideas and recording, and you know what, I'll hop on your song, I'll hop on your track. You know what, that doesn't sound right. Let me mix that for you. Like you're not. That's not happening again.
No, man, it's not a thing. This is not a thing at
That's
all.
dead.
Yeah,
it's a shame. That intimacy is gone. But we've talked about this before, like with DJs. Once upon a time, we'd meet at the record store like once a week. There was a certain day where everybody would meet at a record store, or at least 2 days during the week. Mm-hmm. And once I always say is the positive. There's the positive and negative in everything. And the negative about the whole digital world is that personal touch is gone. So now it's something as simple as like, and I've said this before, when I meet DJs now, it's like, oh my God, and we're hugging each other. Because now guys used to see every week, you may not see for like 5 to 10 years.
That's right, because they'd be all at the store. We gotta get records at the same time. So right.
It's great. I miss that sometimes.
You don't gotta leave your house to get music anymore. Like, here's what it is.
That personal touch.
Yeah.
And I remember even back in the days, sometimes you got gigs that way. Because sometimes you'd meet guys in the store and they'd be like, yo, Chris, what are you doing on let's say, January such and such? I'm like, hold on. No, I got nothing going on. Yo, you want to fill in for me at da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah.
That was you just walking in the record store. That's like that now. All that personal touch is gone. That's a downside about the digital world. Like Calvin, you're saying, like, who's going to be hanging out in studios like that? Guys are doing that in their living room now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore. Or a strip club, but that's not happening. You're not breaking ideas down and eating pepper wings in the strip club. It's not happening.
That's a thing, man.
But I'm like thinking back at those,
especially Atlanta. Yeah. That's a thing.
but I'm, of course. But I'm thinking of like those moments of like, because think of all those people that worked on that album, like a Questlove and James Porzier from the Roots, and you got like Jay Dilla and these guys, and the amount of ideas that must be traded from all these different sessions and these
going
different albums,
just hanging
out.
Know
what I mean, you don't know what conversation is inspiring what song. Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah, you don't know what person's going like. Oh man, I heard that session. You know what? Shit. Let me go back to the lab and remix that. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what's coming from these things.
That's true.
Yeah. But like that's the thing that's heard in music, the creative part of just being in a room with other people, like like Dilla, Tip, whatever, like any of these people, just to be there and be like, yo, I want you to change your drums to this. Like Kanye was doing that. He's calling Timberland to come in the studio and just hang out. What do you think of these drums? And Timberland's like, oh, you should change this, whatever. And it's not to get a credit. It's just like they like the idea of being creative. And that's completely gone. Because, you had to make the music in the studio. But now you do it in your house. And you're like, I'll email you the track. Here's the stems. Like, there's no effort involved. Like, you have to be creative inside the studio in front of people. And that's gone. That's all gone now. And you can hear it in the music, man. Music doesn't sound interesting. It's because it's missing the creative aspect of it. Like, you can't think of all of the albums. Like, just think of Wu-Tang, just Wu-Tang alone. All the times that there's 30 people in the studio and they're like, hey, you should change the snare over there. You should put this on this. What if we put this sample here? Like, that's gone, man.
Yeah.
Who's doing that anymore?
It's like one big pot.
Yeah. And you're missing out on this stuff creatively for music. Like, it's a big deal to lose. Like,
what they say, it's gumbo.
Yeah. The idea of we're just throwing the different things, rice, whatever, into the pot. And that's gone musically. And it's something that was a part of the culture before that. Like it was like you have to have people in the studio just hanging out. You have to have people around here.
Everything like has a negative and a positive, man. And that's a sad part about the digital world. It's like that personal touch.
It's simpler, but worse. It's more stale, I would say.
Yeah.
It's the ease of emailing somebody, here's 20 beats. Check my Dropbox. Like, hey, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Versus you have to print the CD, you got to sit down in front of them and play it. Everybody's looking at you like, you made this? All right. Like, you just all good. Just send an email. I don't like it. I like it. That's it. Nothing.
And sometimes it can be. It's also so simple as I left my house. I drove down or I took the train all the way to the studio. I'm gonna get something out of it. Yeah. I'm gonna add my input. But if I'm sitting in my living room, do I really have that same drive? Like, okay, I did so much to get here. I'm gonna make the best out of these next 5 hours or whatever. You know what I mean? Or 10 hours, however long we're there. You're never going to have the same emotion as when you're sitting in your office at home or in your living room or in your basement. You can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
No, I was going to say, I feel like the biggest artists probably still hold on to that legacy a little bit, like the Beyoncés and those different, because when you hear some of their albums, it's like the way it's produced, I'm like, that's not in somebody's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came from they came from that era. So it's like, yeah. And even like the Weeknd and certain people, it's like you hear some of this stuff, you're like, yeah, that's not made and like that's not just made through like emails.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like through just trading back and forth tracks and emails and stuff. Yeah, there's work that's in there. Like they're in the sessions together, like making stuff and inviting people to come. Like you can tell. You could definitely tell. What I would say though is in terms of like Voodoo, it's interesting because, and there's something one of the topics I'm going to bring out in a moment, but like you guys were talking about Devil's Pie because I'm like, I think that's like one of the more underrated tracks on that album because I felt like it was like, I remember if you like rewind back then, you knew there was an album coming and you kept hearing about it. And that was like the first song I heard from it, even though it was from the Belly soundtrack. Yeah. But like, you knew, but apparently it was like, okay, that's like the first salvo that's coming from D'Angelo. And it's like, and it was legendary. It was like women loved it, guys loved it. It was more of an underground track, but it was an undeniable fire, even though it's more underground. But I felt like when Voodoo came out, man, that was like a phenomenon, man. And I mean, Untitled played a large part into that, which, like I said, we'll get into in a moment. But like, very, very big part. Very big part. But I would ask you, like, just your personal opinion. Take out Untitled. Take out Untitled from both of you guys. What is your most memorable or important tracks from Voodoo? You don't have to rank them, but just like, what would you say for you guys? Because for me, it's Devil's Pie. I would say it's Devil's Pie for me.
For me, it was Devil's Pie also because as on the DJ side, on the DJ, I used to just love to bring it in because it was so heavy. It was just so heavy and so it's like there was an aggression to it and a heaviness to it. I used to just love to bring it in. You know what I mean? I used to just love to bring it in. And like I said, even though I love that album, as a DJ, I gravitated more to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me too. I think I look at it for two ways. Like as a DJ, I used to play Devil's Pie because like there's the beat as a premiere. So it's hip hop. Like that's all we got. We had access to play hip hop stuff, right? So like that was a big deal of it. But like I like for me to listen to in a car, I like the Africa song. There's something about it, just melodically how it goes. It's like it has a feel to it. Like it reminds me of stuff when I listen to it. So like as far as underrated, because everyone knows Untitled,
beautiful record.
Everyone knows left and right. That will play. But like for me, the Africa song is a big deal for me. Like that, I thought that was great. That was an amazing song. But yeah. Because you got to look at it both ways. For the DJ aspect, we played Devil's Pie a lot. Beautiful. But like Africa was just one of those things that I don't know, it just hit you.
No, I was saying going back to that Belly soundtrack, man, because like there was this song and However You Want It by, was it Loose Ends? Those are like the two tracks from Belly, even though I don't know if that song was on the Belly soundtrack. However You Want It is how the movie starts, the intro.
Yeah.
That's how the movie starts in Belly, like how to where they're in the nightclub and it's like the glow in the dark and they have the song, like those are the two memorable songs from Belly, right? But like I always describe Devil's Pie as like it's a soulful track, like blanketed in hip hop drums. You know what I mean? And that was Primo, like, yeah. And this is Primo, like in your prime. This is like Primo, like prime Michael Jordan phase type of, you know what I mean? Like 91 Jordan, you know what I mean? Type of era right there. Like a first team All NBA, batting 1,000, scoring 30 touchdowns. Like he was a superhero mode at that point, right? So, like anything he put out that point was like a perfect marriage. You know? So that's why I'm like Devil's Pie to me was like it was really important.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
100%.
Who didn't go to Primo?
Yeah, no, everybody.
Yeah,
you're right.
Who didn't go to Primo? But to me, I always say that the importance of the producers and stuff for like the people that collaborated with him, like Questlove and you know, and like I said, and Jay Dilla and people like that, like it's such an importance to have like great engineers and producers and, you know what I mean? Somebody who like just a room full of ears, like it. And when you combine that with somebody like a D'Angelo, who's like a very serious artist, as we've come to find out later, like he's a very serious, like this wasn't just like, he did not take his craft for play. You know what I mean? Like this is somebody that really took it serious. You know, so that's why, and to me, that's why I think one of the questions I wanted to bring up with you guys, because I'm like, when it comes to Voodoo, can you separate Voodoo from the Untitled phenomenon? Because to me, I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't think like can. In terms of, I'm like, in terms of having like the right team and marketing team, everything they did, I think we even said this in the last podcast, everything they did was perfect. Like this is what you're supposed to do to jump into the next level, his career to the next level. This guy got in phenomenal shape. He was already, you know, like women already loved him beyond, you know, before he started working out. Now this guy's in super shape. He's, you know, he's shirtless on his album cover. He's shirtless in in all the pictures and the you know, in the CD jackets and the album and stuff. So he's already being identified even before that video came out. But we all know when that video came out, it took on a life of its own. So I'm like, every time every time they see or think of Voodoo, they think of Untitled. So that's, I'm like, so I want to get you guys' opinion on it, because I'm like, to me, I'm like, it's a hard to
a lot of people, a lot of women.
But I know for sure. Well, a lot of women. A lot of women.
It's the thing is the market was the women that were buying the album, because guys liked D'Angelo, but I don't think they were buying the album. It was the girls buying the album, and that Entitled, it changed the game, man. Because like we can put in perspective how women were wilding out over this song, but you can't, man. You can't compare it to today. You gotta think of it like if somebody had like a TikTok and it had 500 million views in a weekend. That's what this song was like. That's the comparable to what this song was like when this video came out. Because I think it was like in a couple days, girls were just losing their mind over this thing. They were crying when you played this song. Like it was insanity. And that's the thing. Like he can't. For people who grew up today, there's no way to explain what this was like. It was like on a Michael Jackson level of like how they're fainting at a concert. It was like that. It was women like just across the board losing their minds when we play this song. Like
I'll remember when they dropped the video. I remember when I saw the video for the first time, I was like, "This mother of effer."
Yep.
Because when you saw it, you knew exactly what they were going for. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, "This mother effer, man." I was like, "Wow, you knew exactly what to do." As a guy, you're just like, you knew this. They should just put 4 chicks. Yeah. Like, you know, at this point, guys, turn off your TV.
time to go to the
Just
gym,
like
man.
chicks only.
That's all it looked at. It's time to go to the gym. That's it.
Yep. It was like, wow, you knew this was not made for dudes. This was made for chicks.
Nope.
And it did just that. Every female I knew was like, oh my God, I saw the Angelo video yesterday. Oh my God. And you're just like rolling your eyes like, yep, got him. They got him.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I always say, me and one of my boys always have a saying, when you've been in the industry long, you can't enjoy certain things the way other people enjoy it. And what I mean by that is you see it and you see the back end of it. So when I saw it, all I saw was like a boardroom. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're not in the industry like that, you'll see like, oh shit. Like, they're smart for doing that video, this and that. I remember thinking that day, I saw a group of people sitting at a table thinking, how could we take this from here and take it to the out the park? You know what I mean? That's what I saw. So when I saw the video, I saw it more as these mother effers. Wow. Wow. This is a no-brainer. Who sat down and thought this up? They just knocked it out the park. I was like, I didn't need to. Every time it came on after that, I would turn the channel. You know what I mean? I don't want to see some dude shirtless, but I got exactly what they're after. You know,
they got the women vote, man. It worked. It worked. They're talking about TV shows. They're talking about this thing.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, like skits and stuff like that about the video. Like it was the talk of the town. I'll put it like that. And like realistically, he's not doing anything. The camera is just cut at a weird angle, right? It looks like he's buck naked. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
he's just singing, just regularly singing, doing nothing else. Girls lost their minds when this song came out. They lost their mind because like the song was like, oh, this is a nice song, and he saw a music video. And they're like, oh, okay, D'Angelo's the man now.
I can't lie though, Keo. It would have ruined my life. If I was D'Angelo, that video would have taken me from 2 kids to maybe at least 8.
Bro, it'd be a problem, man. I was saying it'd be a problem because everybody's watching this. They're forgetting.
Basically,
they're forgetting the time zone when this song came out.
Yeah.
There was no. I'm gonna go pull it on Instagram real quick. There was no. You gotta wait for this video to come on TV.
Listen, you'd be talking about me like we were talking about Diggs earlier. Like you'd be like, "Damn, man, Chris is reckless, man." But you'd be like, "But you know what? I get it. How could you not? Like, how could you not? You know what I mean?"
You gotta imagine because we talked about this in the pod. Like after this song comes out, he has to perform this song like this.
Oh my
God! Forward, every show he gotta take his shirt off and go sing this song. Yeah. At a certain point in time, you gotta be like, "Yeah, I hate my life right now." I think that's the reason why he had the delay between the albums because it's like I don't want to do the stupid song anymore.
It's a different set of pressure though. It's a different set of pressure because now you have to make sure you're in tip top shape every time. There can't be like a line missing.
Yeah,
I can't go from a 6-pack to a 4-pack. That'd be an 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much pressure now to keep everything the same, and you got to do that all the time. But like I remember hearing Method Man talk about the first time he was on tour with DMX, and he was like, "Yo, DMX would do his show," and he's like, "This guy would have the crowd hype. He'd take off his shirt, the woman go crazy, and then he's like, at the end, he's like, he does a Lord's Prayer at the end, and he's like, crying, he's crying, he's like, yo, this is the greatest thing." And he said, by like halfway through the concert, he was just like, by the tour, he was like, "Man, get the fuck off the stage, man. Hurry up, man." So for somebody like him, the sex appeal must be like by like show 30, you're just like by the 5,817th panty that fell on stage, you're just like, all right, man, okay, can I just sing the damn song? And to me, that's why I say like he was a serious artist because I'm like, I think that actually affected him. And I think I've mentioned this before, where it's like most people, most guys, they would have been milking this for the rest of their career,
printing money.
You know what I mean? But this sent them the other way, right?
Yeah. Because I don't think he wanted to be viewed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like like the sex symbol thing rather than the music. and it was a weird. It's one of these convergence things in life where like everything just comes together and it goes in a weird direction that you didn't think was going to happen, and it changed how he was making music after that. Like he took a break, and he's I don't think he did a lot of shows after that. He took a long break. He's like, "F it, I don't want to do this," and like I don't blame him. Like for being on stage and doing this,
he rebelled against the image.
Yeah, like you don't want to. This is not who he was. He wanted it to be about the music. I think at the time he was just like, I'll just make this video. And you think this is going to turn into an anvil, dragging him down for the rest of his life. Like, but that's what it did. It turned into.
Yeah, which is too bad though.
Imagine if this song came out today and it caused this kind of ruckus. Like that would be insane.
But that's the thing. In terms of marketing, the video is a great video that most men like me can't watch, but most women are gonna love it. And yeah. but to this day, I think that video is part of the legacy of Voodoo, for better or for worse. And I'm not 100% sure if that's not longevity wise, but if you're a music lover, I'm not sure if that's a great thing. You know what I mean? I don't think that's what he wanted, because again, when you listen to the album itself, like forget the video and all that stuff. Like even Untitled's a great song on its own.
It's a great
song. Listen to it's a great song on its own. But when you listen to like all the songs on the album, you can tell the amount of work and detail that's done for that. So for all to do all that work, it's critically acclaimed. Even people like Prince are like praising the album. And everybody's just like, take your shirt off, like a stripper. Like at a certain point, it's like, yeah, like I said, you could see he rebelled against the image.
Be like, damn it,
Club 112.
Hey, like, all right.
Christ.
You know what it is?
Shit, man, can't stand it. Shit. Yeah.
So, this is like a sitcom where
that's why I would say I'm like. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying like this is like a sitcom where the guy slides into the room like Kramer, and now every time you walk in the room, you gotta do the slide and hit your head on the wall. And like, yay, this guy came in here, like, yay, Kramer, this is a sitcom. This is what this is. That's the Family Matters with the Urkel. That's the side thing, not a big deal, turned into this monster that took over the show.
But could you imagine? Album. But can you imagine, like he does a concert, like, and he destroys the concert. The concert was amazing, but then there would be people like, "What? He didn't take his shirt off." So I mean, what was that? Yeah, and they would miss the fact that his show was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I could see what that would get you if you're about the purity of what you do. You know?
Yeah.
If you're about the purity. I could see how that would affect you, you know, because not everybody gets into the business to become gimmicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that will turn you into like a gimmicky artist, you know. So you could see how that would bother him.
Because if you think about it, he didn't sell that many records. Like for the time frame, going gold was a huge deal. Like it was a huge success. Now. If you go gold, like it's a I
think you went like double platinum with that. I think.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like at that time, going gold was like a big deal. But like he wasn't selling like Michael Jackson, Beyonce numbers. He was just doing okay, and it was fine for that thing. And this kind of upped the ante for him musically. After that, it was kind of a big deal. Like it changed everything.
Yeah. But like I said, though, man, like if I'm his manager, though, right? Because you're looking at the success of Brown Sugar on its own musically. It's, like I said, it's revered, right? So like both of these albums are kind of revered. To me, it's like the R&B version of Low End Theory versus Midnight Marauders, right? Like for the music lovers, right? Like if you're a trap fan, you know what I'm talking about. But like to me, I'm like when you look at the effect of Brown Sugar just aesthetically, because again, most women I knew loved D'Angelo. Like prior to this, they thought
Yeah.
he was a borderline sex symbol. They loved him.
Yeah.
Like anytime he came on the stage, it was like, oh my God, oof. You're like, yo, would you take it easy? I'm right here. I'm sitting right here. You know,
Pause, everybody, pause.
you know? But seriously though, like women love this guy. You know what I mean? So it was like, okay, so like as a manager or like a record exec or something like that, you're or they're part of this team, you're kind of like, how do we up the ante on this? You know what I mean? So it's like, if he's like one day he's like, man, you're like, you lost some weight, like, damn, all right, bro. And he, like now all of a sudden, like I can see it. The ideas are already like ding, 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 ding. Like, okay, let's figure out a way to get this ball rolling. But like I said, I don't know how you separate this song from the album, because I'm like, I think the album is masterful. But like, there's some people to this day that don't appreciate it musically because of that video and that song. You know what I mean? So it's like a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
And he probably lost a lot of dudes too. Because, you know, a lot of guys, the women was probably looking at them like, this nigga.
It's true, though. It's true.
Can you imagine? And every time it comes on, guys are like, what the man? Guys are uncomfortable, like fighting for the remote quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Like, I think guys kind of like, D'Angelo, whatever. This guy's abs, whatever. Like, guys are like, they're tired of this thing.
I remember that. Hey, listen, that was me. I remember, like, you know, my girlfriend at the time. I just, you know, I just felt it was awkward at times, because you're like, okay, what's going on right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm at a strip club, like a male strip club. That's what it felt like, and you're like, yo, what's going on? And you just look like you're gonna grab the remote and you might get your head chopped off.
No, because it's hard to explain to people that, you know, they grew up today what this thing was. It was a moment in time that people lost their minds about this one song, and they played it forever. It was in the charts forever. It was on there for a long time. And, you know, he's the R&B artist. Like, today, you know, a rapper makes a song, is number one on Billboard, no big deal, just gets the charts, whatever. His thing was separate because he didn't get the music wasn't as integrated as it is today. So, like, you're just on the R&B charts, just doing okay over there. You weren't getting played on regular radio, you know, the iHeart radio, whatever. You weren't getting played on there on a basic, you know, whatever pop show. You weren't getting any plays, no spins. And this thing, it hit the stratosphere as far as the cultural moment. It hit the stratosphere. I think didn't they make a skit on Mad TV or something like that? I don't remember. They had skits and stuff about this.
Yeah, I remember.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. Great idea. Like, phenomenal.
And it's funny because if you think about it now, right? Like, this album, you know, there's certain albums, like if you took, you know, we do it with sports sometimes where it's like different eras, like you compare different eras of like an athlete, like a player from the 80s, could they play now, and vice versa and all that stuff. Sometimes I wonder that with music, like would there some albums, would it go good in the 80s? You know what I mean? Like, could it fare well in the 80s or the 90s? And I'm like, I think with this album, it would have been, I think, bigger now, not just because of the Instagram social media aspect of it for Untitled #1, but I think because where music is now, and like, you know, they say like hip hop right now, as they have no songs in like the Billboard charts anymore, and R&B's kind of, you know, like as good as some music as overall is kind of hurting. An album like this right now it'd be like basically being in the desert and now you're getting gallons of water. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, I wonder if that album would even be bigger now. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be bigger now. To have, like, it sold 2 million before, but I think it might sell like double that now just because of where music is.
Well, because it was different. There's nothing like this right now. So I think it'll make an impact because it sounds different. And, you know, creatively, the feeling that you get listened to is different. Like, there's nothing like this out right now. I don't know. Like, as far as being on Spotify or just listening, Like there's people that are trying to copy his style or whatever, but they're not getting any spins. Like he got 2 followers on Spotify. Like they're not major people on the music platform, Apple Music, whatever. So like I definitely think like if you got promotion, and that's the key part about now is that you need the promotion. There's no you read about it in the magazine. We'll see it on Vibe or whatever, or the source will pick it up and talk about it. You need all this extra promotion. You got to spend all this extra money that you didn't have to do before. You know
but it's funny. I agree, but I was going to say I agree, but to a certain extent, though, because only reason why I say this, I'm not really pushing back on what you're saying, but the clips, right?
Yeah.
Like, for those who follow the clips, forget their album and all that stuff, whether you loved it or hate it or whatever. Their press run, everybody was praising their press run, and it made me laugh because their press run was old school. They just did magazines. They went on TV shows and did the musical performances. They barely did a lot of social media stuff. They did the old school run, and people were praising them for it. And I was laughing because I'm like, yo, this is what everybody did like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But they just followed the old school trend of it. But they were like, people were like going crazy like it was avant-garde. And it's like, bro, this is what everybody did. Like, what the hell? Am I the only one seeing this? So that's why I wondered. I'm like, if he kept it the same, that would have made him a little more mysterious, which probably would have helped him more. This day and age, right?
For the clips, like they had the name recognition of Pharrell, whatever, that helped push them up. Like if you're starting as a brand new artist, and you start from scratch, you don't have any name recognition, because like D'Angelo's just by himself. There's no he's connected to Tribe and Questlove and the Roots, and he's on Jimmy Fallon. Like you don't have anything. It's just him, and he's doing this thing by himself. And then he's got to get bigger by himself. He can't hop on tour with another artist and then be like, oh, here comes D'Angelo. He was on a remix that we did for this other thing, and he's on this whatever show, and he's just him. Right? So I think that's the difference maker, is that you today you have to be integrated into a bunch of other artists and do other things. Be on someone's podcast, be on so-and-so's show, be on YouTube for something else. Like you have to do all this other stuff today. Like, but I think it's possible.
On stream.
Yeah, exactly. You have to do all this craziness now that you never had to do before. You just did an interview on Vibe. He went on a radio show and said, "Hey, I'm coming to your city on Tuesday." That's it. That's all it was. Now there's like, I was talking this with I forgot who it was. It's another DJ, and like, music is so scattered now that, you know, before you had we go on Hot 97, then we go WLK or whatever, and then we do whatever, and then New York's gonna spread it out, and I go down to California and talk to Big Boy, and I go to Georgia and go talk to, I've read the DJs down there, but like, you know, you're saying like you just go hit the major cities, you call in a radio show, that's enough. You have to do anything else if you want to be good. Just go on tour. Eventually,
I'm gonna say just wait for the concerts after that.
Yeah. Now it's people are so scattered. There's people that put albums out and even though they had an album, like it's insane. Like it's so hard. It's so difficult to get promotion on this level today, especially because, you know, like whatever I'm listening to, my playlist is not the same as your playlist. And we don't even listen to the same radio stations right now or whatever. Like it's just scattered. Everything's scattered. I think it's harder today to blow somebody up, but it is possible. But it takes resources. I think more than anything else, it takes a bunch of resources. And depending on how much somebody wants to spend on the album.
That's what you realize now, like how we were really in special times, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those days were really special. And like we said earlier, when you're in it, you don't realize how special it is. And now you look back and you're like, man, you know, like those times were special. I have a friend of mine, he always says this, he goes, Chris, guys like you got the best time to be in the business, especially as a DJ. Like the 90s, early 2000s, he's like, oh my God, like you guys lived it. And he's right. He's right. Yeah. Like, you know, it didn't mean that much. Let me change that. It meant everything to us back then, but we still didn't really know what we were really dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you were around for like the birth of hip hop and like, I remember my pops bringing home certain records, and that's like, these records are like the birth of hip hop, like Grandmaster Flash, The Furious Five, like, like Rapper's Delight, all that. I remember him bringing that home. And you didn't realize this pool that you're about to enter into. You know what I mean? And now that we know and we see where it's gone, you miss the purity of it. Because like everything, it starts off organic, it starts off pure, it starts off just rich and nice, and then it gets polluted.
Yeah.
I feel like where we are now, it's in a weird place. At least for somebody like me, it's in a weird place.
No, you're not wrong. You're right. You're 100% right. It is in a weird place. I think like everything has to fail and then start from scratch all over again and create a new industry. Because like this music is awful right now. That's where it's headed. It's gonna happen. We hit the iceberg. The Titanic already split open, and people are in the water right now. This thing's gotta fail, man. It's gotta fail.
Both going like this, right?
Bro, that boat is already
the violins
over. The violins are under the water right now. The violins unplugged the cables yet? They're done, man. They're under the water.
The band unplugged the cables yet?
Yeah, man. It is horrible right now. Listen, as a DJ, as a DJ, current music is terrible. And every genre. Doesn't matter what you pick a genre at random. Horrible.
Terrible.
And people are more excited about music from the 90s and early 2000s than the current music. Yeah.
I just had a conversation with a woman, walked up to me at this event that I was doing on the weekend. And she said to me, music is so bad nowadays that my son plays, like I was playing like 90s R&B and stuff like that, some old school. And she goes, this is on my son's playlist. A lot of stuff you're playing. And she goes, and he's 17. And I'm like, wow. I said, the music is in a weird place. When I told her, like, even my kids, like my daughter's in her early 20s. When you hear her playlist, it's like joints that we were banging in the club back in the 90s. Yep. So even them, they're not just listening to today's music. You know what I mean? Like a lot of their playlists is a lot of the old school stuff.
Yeah. It's bad, man. We don't appreciate how bad it is. It is bad. Like I've done parties where like people are like just early 90s. That's it. You're good. Like, don't worry about playing anything new. Nobody's asking for anything new.
No.
I've gone pretty much the whole year without playing anything new. Like, people like walking up to, hey, do you have so-and-so that just gives out? Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, it's true.
Get by without playing anything new and no one would notice. That's how bad it is.
They had said at one point that with radio, at least when it comes to radio, they're like the biggest songs on radio are songs that came out like at least 3 years ago.
Yep.
Like on average, right? Like those are the biggest songs that's getting the most airplay on radio. Even like XM and stuff. Like it's like the biggest songs are like from like 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's not like now. That's what I'm like. So like I think back then, like if you listen to like back in the 90s or 2000s, if you listen to the songs in the 70s or the 80s, it was because of interest. Like you're just kind of like being interested in it. But whereas now it's like it's almost like a necessity that you kind of have to go back. You know what I mean? It's not like an interest. So that era was dope too. It's like, like I kind of play this just as much as the current stuff. Like, like it's interesting, but it's funny too because I don't know if you guys caught the D'Angelo's son. I think he was on the Breakfast Club. I think it was on the Breakfast Club recently, right?
I saw that.
And you watched that, right?
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting, you caught the part where he was talking about his mom's funeral, Angie Stone's funeral. He's talking about how D'Angelo didn't come from pretty much like 99% of the funeral. And then he showed up maybe like 5 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago. And he said, and everybody mobbed him. And he was like, his son was like, I understood why he didn't come. So it wasn't because he didn't have love for Angie Stone. He didn't want to support me. But he said he did it to support me because he knew that if he came like what everybody else did, the attention would all be on him. That's to me, that's still the Untitled effect. You know what I mean? Like that's all I heard when he was talking about. That's still the effect of Untitled, even though it's like 20 something years later. Like people are still seeing like God. You know what I mean? When he comes out now, like it's even to this until he passed recently, right? Like that was the effect that he still had, and that came from Untitled. That's just it. That's I'm like, I don't know how you separate the two. Here's another question I want to ask you guys though. Do you feel like because of the gap that he ended up taking, right? And I think I kind of know the answer what y'all are going to say here, but like, do you feel like he missed out on the opportunity of being like the leader of R&B in the 2000s?
Yeah, 100%.
I think so. Definitely.
That
big
break
opportunity, right?
Well, because there's two things that he didn't really collaborate with a bunch of artists and singers. Like he didn't hop on somebody's hook. He wasn't, doing remixes with people or singing on things. It's just his thing alone. And so he kind of missed out because he wasn't collaborating with other people. Because that would have expanded his brand and made him even bigger. Because there's a certain point in late 90s, early 2000s that rappers were messing with pop artists. Christina Aguilera, like the NSYNC. They're messing with rappers. Like Pharrell's doing stuff with them. Yeah. So like there's the point where D'Angelo could have crossed over and hit this whole other plateau with the other market, but because he's only in his circle, in his bubble, I think it hurt him. It definitely affected him that he couldn't be as big as he's capable of being. Because you got to reach out and do this other stuff, and he wasn't doing it. He felt he didn't need to. And it's not wrong, but I think that, he put only three albums and that's it. There's nothing else. There's Beyonce is like on her 10th album right now. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a bunch of artists that put albums out for days, whatever. And you get a sprinkle of a morsel of something and then that's it. And, he's just on vacation in Cabo somewhere or wherever he's doing or wherever he was doing back in the day. Like he's just listening to music somewhere, and that's it. Whereas these other artists are back in the studio, like that killed them. Same thing with Rihanna. I guess we'll talk about that later, but like same thing. But Rihanna's put out more albums than him though, and she's reached that other plateau. But I think for him, it hurt him. A lot of these artists, they were able to, like if you look at Madonna reinvented herself every couple albums, and she's doing dance music before anybody else is doing dance music. She's doing trip hop before anybody else is doing that stuff. She was doing, like this. Being around other genres of music helped her tremendously to stretch out her career and even make her larger than anybody else. And I think this is the Achilles heel of D'Angelo. He didn't do any of that stuff.
But then you wonder though, something we said earlier, where the Untitled video, what it did to him mentally. Because if he came in the game to more be like a Stevie Wonder type, right?
Yeah.
Then what it did to him mentally, him stepping away from it is probably what saved him mentally. Mm-hmm. Because you got to wonder if he had stayed in it and stayed with the marketing team, where would he have ended up like mentally?
Well, you know what I mean? Because dark places.
Because when something's not you and you're doing dark places. Yeah, but when something's not you, like a lot of artists, and they're doing it now for the money. Mm-hmm. A lot of times that's when the drugs, that's when things go through the roof now, because it's not you. You're just, you're shelled. It's like, it's like you're just doing it for the paycheck, So him stepping away, I do think he missed that window, but at the same time, for his sanity, I don't think he was able to go through that window.
Well, not everybody's built for this. Like the music industry is dirty, man. It is.
What? That's an understatement.
So some people can handle dealing with these types of people, and some people it's in their best interest to go away. Like Dave Chappelle going to Africa, just getting away from the industry. Like you kind of need something like that. Some people need that break to survive mentally. Yeah. And, Dave is in comedy. It's got nothing to do with this, but it's similar types of people.
Oh, yeah.
Same types of scumbags working in both industries. And so I think that probably he didn't have that core team of people around him to be like, yeah, don't worry, you can't talk to D'Angelo today. Like, you can't do it. It's all him. Everything's on his shoulders. It's just him.
Yeah,
So,
that's a lot, man.
that's a factor for sure. You don't have the team. Beyonce's got her dad from back in the day when the core, when this time mattered. Her dad was like, no, she's not doing that. She's not going to wear that. Get out of here. It's garbage. It's my daughter. Like, there's somebody there making the decisions of when you're emotionally, you get corrupted or be part of this thing, make these bad decisions. There was somebody there for a lot of these people that were like, nah, they're not doing that. You get this. We're not doing this deal or selling Pepsi or whatever. Like, they had that thing there to protect them, looking out for their interests. D'Angelo. That was it. He's friends with people, but he wasn't in that circle with them.
But I asked that question honestly because I'm like, talent-wise, when you think about it, especially that time, like early 2000s, that really and truly musically for that generation, talent-wise, it was on that list. Maybe close third or third, but he's like third on that list, even though we sold more records. But musically, talent-wise, between the writing, all the production, instrumentation, all that stuff, it was really him and Kels. I know that's like a taboo name to say now, but like really and truly though, that's a God honest fact. Like those two musically they were basically on a level by themselves. It's just he just left, and then we know what happened to R. Kelly, but like he just disappeared for 14 years or 10 years or whatever it was, right? Well, that's true. but I'm like, but it's just the whole thing of like the generation of like he missed out on possibly being a leader, and where would his leadership have taken R&B? Where would it have taken music if he's able to, to
gotta collab with
do
people.
things on a, like as you said, like on a Prince level where it's about the music, or on a Stevie Wonder level? Like where would it have taken music? What other people would have been? I mean, don't get me wrong, he inspired hundreds of artists. But where would the director would have taken it had we known that like this guy's selling 3-4 million albums at a time? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm like he kind of missed out. Like he went spiraling in a way that he was. Sorry, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
But again, that's the beauty of the business, though. It's kind of like in every business, we have a blueprint that we're all trained to follow, right? And it's like sports. There's a blueprint that we're supposed to follow. And when guys don't follow the blueprint, it throws you off. Like, like my favorite running back was Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders was supposed to play a couple more years, but he hit a point where he was like, this is enough for me. I'm done. But because of how we're built, we're like, you're not supposed to be finished yet. You're supposed to squeeze as much out as possible. But some of them came into it for a short period. They didn't want to be in it for long. But it's hard for us to compute that. You know what I mean? Because we're trained, you're supposed to be in it for as long as you can. They're supposed to push you out, but some people aren't here for that. They're here to light up the world for a short window, and then their whole being does not want to do this past a certain amount of years. Like, like they're dead inside. Like a great example is Andre 3000.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's him. When people are like, yo, they need to come back, I'm like, for what? Like, this guy's done. He's dead inside. Like, when it comes to that, let him go. Take what he gave us and let's hold on to that and let's cherish that. Because if he comes out and he tries to do the blueprint thing, he's gonna either end up insane or we're gonna shit on him because he won't bring the same quality.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same. He can't. He's basically boxed in now. He can't come back ever.
Yeah, it's best
for the best. It's for the best.
It's best to just walk off. We've seen so many. Lauryn Hill, she's another one. She missed that window. Same thing. But the work she left us, shit, you'll still be listening to this 15, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everybody's here for the long haul, but I think most of us are conditioned that you're supposed to be here until we kick you out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
I was gonna add though, Chris, like the good point, but I wanted to add, you're done when you're accepted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and you're performing your songs, but you're sitting in the crowd watching Big Boy and a hype man perform your verses. You're done with the music industry at that
Wow.
point.
Yeah,
You're done. Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, he's done to that degree. He's not even
Done.
I mean, that's your swan song if you want it to be. I mean, you can't even do Rosa Parks. Like, like it's over like that. Like that's
Done.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wild.
It's nuts.
Not everybody came in for the same reason. And you hear athletes say that. Like you see athletes that were phenomenal. Phenomenal. And when you hear them like, do you play? Like, do you play for fun with friends? And they're like, listen, I haven't touched anything to do with this game in like 15 years, 10 years. And you're like, oh my God. Like when they walked away, they put it down. They never lifted weights. They never walked in a gym or walked on a field. I know ex-players that doesn't even watch the game. Like whatever they left, they don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't, hold on. So you don't even watch the sport anymore? It's like, no. Like they had their fill to the point where it doesn't exist to them anymore. They're done. They don't even talk about it. So, I get it. Somebody like D'Angelo, Lauryn Hill, people like that, I get it. I get it. I used to be just like everybody else, like, man, like, what happened to them? Like, somebody's got to go find, like what they used to say about Curtis Blow. It's like, we need to go on an excursion to find Curtis Blow. It was like that. But then as time went on, you know what's funny? Life is interesting. As time went on, right? And the more, as this, Keo, the longer you go on in this business, right, is the more you get screwed over. Yeah. Right? So the more you get, so the crazy thing is the more you get screwed over is the more you start to understand why some people rather be here for a short period. Because you came in with the passion, but now it's so much about money and bullshit that organicness and that passion no longer lives in you. So now you can't put out your best quality. Yeah. So that high level that you put out, that came out because it was organic and it was pure. Once that leaves your soul, it's best you just pull a Andre 3000 and go sit in the stands. You know what I mean?
No, so at a certain point in time, like you realize, like I can't do this anymore. Like I
can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it
hurt. I'm not gonna lie, man. It hurt giving up music, but like there's a certain point in time where I just like can't do this. It's not gonna work out for me. Like everyone has that dream. It's like a lottery ticket. Like I'm gonna scratch this thing and I'm gonna get there. I get my big break, and then the thing that comes with the lottery ticket is, well, now I'm famous. Everybody's asking me for money, and then what I'm saying, like people are trying to cheat me and whatever. Like getting to the top kind of sucks. Because it's not the thing that you thought it was when you were getting up there. And at the bottom, you're like, oh, this is going to be so awesome when I get here. I'm going to be famous. And people are like, you're going to say, oh, I love your song, whatever. And then you get there, and like, this is a miserable experience. And so, like, see, for D'Angelo, having him leave like that, like, I get it, man. You don't realize. I remember I was in the studio with the unnamed artist, and they were mobbing this person outside. And I'm like, yo, this sucks. It's like, yo, this is an awful experience. I was like, why would I want this? Like before, when you're younger, like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome, man. People are gonna be there. And I'm like, yo, this sucks. This is trash. I never forget. I'm just watching these people yell and scream outside. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Can you imagine? You can't even go to a mall. You can't go walking down the street. You can't do nothing. I used to always say I would never want to get that big. Like I would never want to get like a Michael Jackson big.
Yeah, they're not even that famous though, but they're famous enough to have people like, oh, that's that guy. And it's just like, I can't enjoy my life anymore. Like I enjoy going to the mall and no one bothering me. You got headphones on, just going to the mall, you can't do that anymore. Yeah. It's like being Barack Obama. Like he can't just, hey, I'm gonna go to. You can't even, as ex-president, you can't even drive a car anymore. you're not allowed to drive a car again. Like, you got to think about that.
That's crazy.
For these artists that get this big, or they have like this huge song, and then they step away from the game, like, I get it, man. You don't think about these the little things people don't think about. Like, your life is kind of over being a superstar, and
especially
different.
Sorry to cut you, but especially too if you took care of your family. So if you took care of your family and your family's good, you know, so, to me, I would understand when I'd be like, okay, why am I getting on the stage to do this shit again?
Yeah, you don't need it.
Bring this stress into my life. You know, and I don't need it. Like, what I need this for? You know what I mean? Everybody's good. My kids are good. Wife is good. You know, brothers, sisters, like mother, father, everybody's good. We got property, this, that. You know, a huge trust. I'd be like, I want to go through this stress again, this bullshit, the gimmicks and the people. And now it's even worse because back in the days, you only heard rumors that people thought you sucked. Or people thought you were this and that. Now,
you
shit,
read it on Twitter.
Every asshole has an opinion now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You want to go back into that world?
Yeah.
You know? I get it. You know, I get it.
Yeah, man. I understand. I didn't, as a kid, I never got that. Like, why would you walk away from this? You're a superstar. Today, I'm like, oh, hell no, man. It is what it is. Shoot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, you know, I guess on the segue to wrapping up, you know, we got another artist that had walked away too for a while, right?
Yeah.
And Rihanna, like, she went on to go and become like a mogul in the cosmetic world, and you know, she's like a billionaire at this point, you know. But I wanted to ask you guys a question too, and you know, I guess people in the comments will say whatever in terms of, like, you know, whether we think we're crazy or not, but I do want to ask. Does Rihanna need to put out music again? And I want to give you the inspiration before you guys answer, because I want to credit this guy I follow, Artemis. Can't remember his full name, but all the time, but Artemis, great follow on Instagram. Yeah, especially for like music behind the scenes, and great follow. But like, there's some real ones out there, but it like, to me, in terms of like discussing the prospect, and I want to like read this verbatim because it was a post he put out, and I want to read this verbatim because somebody asked a question to him, like, would she get back to music? Because some of the music that she has or that she has in her catalog, it's kind of like escape music, which people are kind of even missing now because the music is in a dirt situation, right? So like what she has out in store, and then I think he's even playing some of the songs that she has in the tuck. You're like, yo, that can go literally right now, right? But I think the question he put is like, and I want to read this verbatim, is like, you know, what I fear is there are forces conspiring against her that want her to get back to work and make them money. The parent company of Fenty Beauty is trying to sell it off to the highest or most convenient bidder. This in turn will cheapen the brand and only not only to devalue it, but her pockets as well. This might unfortunately cause her to get back on stage. I do not want that because, like, most companies use black talent to get hot and then secretly copy and discard the black talent for a hue that they feel is more comfortable having at the dinner table. And Rihanna is unapologetically black. You know, and they said Adidas pulled something like on Kanye similar to what the Louis Vuitton house is doing with Rihanna, and they're trying to sheenify her line. While, you know, let me see here. So the difference between Fenty and Yeezy is that both, like, Yeezy is both men and women can wear Yeezy brand visibly and be a walking billboard of sorts. You know, you didn't have to ask, is that Yeezys that you're wearing? You know, Rihanna is not the type to call ladies only to wear her products, but coming up soon, I think, you know, we saying the culture should dictate the market for her. So this is why I kind of asked that question. Like, should she, like hearing that now, which I thought this is kind of an interesting topic. Like, you know, do you think she should, or would she need to put back music out again if what they're saying is true about that situation? Because I want to hear your opinion first. I want to hear you guys' opinion.
Hell no. and it's everything we were just talking. It's every single thing we were just talking about. She Rihanna to me is like a, she's like a Roy Jones, right? Like I loved Roy Jones. I grew up on like Sugar Ray Leonard. There was a time where they should have walked away, and they came back and they started getting knocked out and shitted on. What she's done, there's no reason for her to come back. She's given us enough catalog. She's carved her name in the sand that will never go away. For her to come back now, she's coming back into a world that's changed. And she's coming back into the social media world, like even deeper in the social media world. If I'm her, do I want to come back to that? At the end of the day, if the passion isn't fully there, right? But my pockets are way beyond. I have generational. My grandkids are good. I would not step foot in the studio ever again. I'd go and enjoy life with my family and let everybody keep banging out my music. Like how they're banging out like Prince. Like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? For her to come back now, just the possibility of the headaches and the possibility of putting out, watching like millions and millions of streams, and you're getting like 40 grand. You know what I mean? Can you imagine her coming back into that bullshit? If I was her, I would keep walking, go enjoy life. And the only reason I'd come back if I was her, the only reason is it can't be about money because she's going to get ripped off. But the passion is so strong that she can't sit still. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if the passion isn't like when, like at the beginning when it was pure, I would advise her to stay away because only you know when you're done. Like when you know in your heart when you're done. But like prize fighters, sometimes people have to tell you when to walk away. Like you don't have it anymore as an entertainer. It's time to walk away. With my fear with her, she comes back and she gets shitted on, or she gets ripped off.
Well, I think for Rihanna, she did the crossover thing. Like she reached the top of the mountain already. Like when she did the dance music, that was it. You're at the top. There's no going. There's no sideways. There's no other place to go to be like, well, this is a new plateau for me. She hit that top with the dance music. And so for her, if she's not going to get something that's going to be like 5 billion, 6 million albums sold, it is pointless.
Does it make sense?
The only way it makes sense for her if she tries to make some music that's completely different out of her genre, out of whatever, and she tries to do some I don't know, I don't want to say Bayesian music, but like something else that's different. That, it can't be pop, it can't be dance, it can't be R&B, it can't be whatever. It's got to be something totally different. That's like a passion project. That's the only way it makes sense for her to come back because she's not going to sell the same. Like everyone's moved on to all these new artists, whatever, and she's in the past. Like it's not going to make sense. But also a thing, like she left to be a mother. You did what you had to do. You made your money, your family's good. You're out of the game. Why come back? I don't think this is a good idea to come back for her. Like there's nothing, if she does come back, nothing she does will be good enough for the people that were fans of her in 2011, 2012. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to be happy with whatever she does. So that's why I say if it's a passion thing or you're just trying to play ukulele or do something crazy that's different, it's African music, great. But like, if you just coming back to do a regular pop album, like that's a waste of time for everybody. It's not going to work out.
And then not to mention also people in your world again. But so you're opening up your door again for people to be all up in your house again. Talking shit about you. Like want to see what your kid looks like, where your kid goes to school, or who your kid might be dating in the future. Like if I got out of that, I would not come anywhere near that again. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But the funny thing is though, like it's I don't disagree with what you guys are saying. But the funny thing is though, is like when she doesn't have to make music, of course, because as long as she's smart with her money, even if what they're saying with the LVMH and they're trying to like like sell off her line, or you know what I mean, or cater to a different market, and you know maybe she loses interest and comes out of it because she's very avant-garde for like that was part of the thing that made her like super popular, right? So if she wants to get out of it that way, like if her value is still like 800, 900 million, $1 billion, whatever the value is at, she did right with her money and she set up a trust, all this stuff. Yeah, like of course you can shut it down forever because, you know, like they always say, it's like you're jumping into the music business, so you're jumping into some of these industries, and it's like you kind of never really gain freedom again until you retire, right?
Yeah.
Most people, like when it comes to artists, it's a little different because like you're just never free. You go cold, you know what I mean, or you're forever trying to chase the earlier spark of what you had before. Mm-hmm. But like there's a certain freedom when you make this kind of money, like you're basically free, right? You're essentially free. But at the same time, because she's like 37 years old, like she's not that old to still put out another like major album or two. If she has a spirit to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, she still is of that age where it's like it can still shape culture. You know what I mean? Like she's not like 50 years old. You know what I mean? Like she's at the age.
No, I'm saying the album has to be spectacular for her to come back. Like it has to be the greatest album ever. Like, it can't be just a regular album or similar to the stuff she was doing before. She has to work with some new producers, get some new writers, and they need a banger of an album for it to make sense. If anything less than that comes out, her stock's gonna go down through the toilet for Fenty and a bunch of other stuff. Like it's just gonna go through the toilet, and it'll hurt her brand. If she has a misstep with the music, it'll hurt her brand. Especially because today and age is the Instagram, the TikTok. Everyone's instantly gonna go get on TikTok or whatever. Like if you look at Beyonce has never took a break. Like her break is like a year, maybe. She's just dropping music consistently throughout the time. Yeah. Rihanna's taking a break. Like she's taking a legit. Her break was so long that the style of music has changed, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's how long her break was. So like it matters what she does next. So that's what I'm saying. Like as far as like I would like to hear more Rihanna music. I like Rihanna, but like it's risky. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the downside of it. It's really risky. If she puts out a song and the song isn't good or it doesn't do well, that's bad news bears for everybody, man. That's bad for her brand and for the industry is bad. Like she cannot have a failure. So it's best. It's either it's
a strikeout or a grand slam.
Yes, she has to have a grand slam. Nothing less than a grand slam will work for her. It's like in being football, you got to win the Super Bowl. Otherwise, you got to blow up the team. That's what it is. And that she's at that level where it has to sell 5-6 million copies, 1 billion streams. It's got to be worldwide phenomenon, or it's worthless to do it.
I agree.
So that's why I'm like, and kind of shaky about her doing it because I think that there's too much risk from a business standpoint.
Because in some ways, she could put out something so avant-garde at the same time that like it actually boosts Fenty and it boosts everything else that she's doing too, right? Like there's also that side of the coin too. But it's like what I guess to your point, it's like where does your spirit lie, right? Like going back to D'Angelo, it's like it served him better to take that long break and just put out music when he really felt like doing it, because like otherwise mentally for him was like it wasn't worth the damage, even though he ended up self-sabotaging himself with drugs and different things and after a while, right? Because it's still bit him. It still got him. Even through that break, it still got him. Right? Like when she's not in that like her thing is completely different because it's based on success. So like now she's like she can do stuff that she wants to do. Like I said, with her, I'm looking at the age and I'm kind of like, man, she's still at that age where, just proper stretching, you might still hit that home run. Although I get everything you guys are saying. Just creatively, I'm just like, man, I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's interesting. I find it's interesting. Like, I don't think like financially, no, she doesn't have to put out music anymore. But that could also be the fun, right? That could also be the fun. You don't have to do it. You could do it on your own terms and now take your time and get the right people. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's interesting. I think there's two sides of the coin on it.
Well, but the problem for her is that she's a slave to the machine. Like the machine gets behind her, the machine gets behind Drake, machine gets behind Beyonce, whereas D'Angelo is his own guy just making music. She has to do the thing that the machine wants because there's too much money behind her, and so like that's the problem. That it's safe for her as a career to just be like, I'm done with this. It's you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing to gain from this. If it's not a grand slam home run, there's nothing to gain from this as an artist. So
the tour is like sponsored by like some major corporations.
Yeah,
not just it's not just Live Nation anymore. It's connected to like God knows what, right?
Exactly. So it's like it's a lot of loses. It's a lose for her. Unless she has a crazy hit, and then it's great. But like from the business standpoint, this is all bad news for her if she does something and it doesn't hit. It's bad. Honestly, it'll be better if she leaked the song and it turned into a hit, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I have an album. Here you go." That's better than her setting the whole thing up, doing the world tour and doing the thing, and then putting the song out and it doesn't hit. That's bad. Like as an artist today, that's horrible.
I was going to say to your point, who can keep a secret now? Because if she decides to put out an album, and who's going to keep it under wraps and you know, like we're secretly going to record this with the three of us, for example, right? We're going to secretly record this album. Who's spilling the beans? Is it Chris? Is Chris you know what I mean? Like how do you keep that under wraps for so long where you can kind of leak the song and be like, okay, yeah, Chris is like, it's me. It's going to be me.
An accident, you know what I'm saying? Like it gets out there by accident, baby.
You know. But
it fell off.
I'll put it out. I got a number. Are you willing to get to that number?
Yeah, you know, it falls off the back of your car in the laptop. Someone steals the laptop. It's a Rihanna song. Like that's the only way this thing works. It has to be an accidental leak. It gets out there. Oh my God, this is a crazy song. It turns into a hit.
It's fire.
That's the only way this works. It can't be that you put the whole machine.
It's like your worst record, and that worst record is fire.
Yeah. Like this.
But what you said, just having the machine, we know the machine that's going to be behind her. I just think it's such a dangerous place, just mentally to go back into. You know, especially knowing too, you most likely won't make the same amount of money. So what are you doing it for? And if you're doing it for the passion, and you're geared by the machine. You know, the machine fights down against the passion. Doesn't give a shit about the organicness and all that shit. You know what I mean? So if you're doing it for the passion, you can't get behind the machine, or you can't have the machine get behind you. So is it worth that kind of stress? I mean, again, we have no idea what's in her head. Me personally, I would just keep walking.
Yeah,
I would be like Barry Sanders, just walk away and just
go out on a high.
Yep, go on a high, man.
She was putting songs that are in raves. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go to Coachella to hear a Rihanna song. That's where she was at. There's nothing else to do after this.
Man.
Yeah, not Coachella, nothing. She did the Super Bowl too.
Say you did the Super Bowl
too already,
you're
right?
Good. As far as your career, what you're capable of doing, you've reached all the plateaus. You sold all the records. You did all the shows. You did a fashion line. What else is there to do?
Yeah, and you come back and you could screw it up like Michael Jordan. You know, when Michael Jordan came back with the Wizards, I remember seeing him live, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this? This ain't Mike." I felt like Mike was tied up in a basement somewhere.
Yeah,
I was like, Michael Jordan, they're fooling us. You know, so even to this day, when you think of Mike's legacy. You try to forget those couple of years where he came back. I would hate to see that happen to her, where you're like, "Yo, Rihanna was so dope." Just forget about those that last album, though. You know what I mean?
I disagree with you, Chris, completely because nobody remembers that Wizards career. You just brought it up, but prior to that, nobody ever mentioned it until you just brought it up.
No, but the fact that
everybody forgot about it already.
But the fact that it's there. You know what I mean? Somebody could still
It's not
bring it
there.
up and put it.
What are you talking
Somebody
about?
could still, somebody could still bring it up and put that thing on your resume.
Mhm.
You know, like that slight stain on your resume. But if he had, I always said, if he had never come back, he would have been that thing that comes out of the mountain every couple of years. He would have been that thing living up in the mountains that we all talk about. He'd been like a like for a folk tale kind of thing. The fact that he came back, that's how I see her. If she comes back, is she Michael Jordan with the Wizards?
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, though, he is still that guy now that comes out the mountaintops. I think people still see him in that way. People don't even. He's so far removed from that. People don't.
I never
even
paid attention
discuss
to him
like,
at the Wizards.
I've heard a few knocks though.
Yeah, no,
I've heard a few knocks. I've heard a few knocks. I've heard people like, oh, come on, 2 years at the Wizards, like da-da-da. My thing is that would not have existed if he had just gone away when he was on top of the mountain. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's best to just go away when you're on top of the mountain, man. You know, if you're not coming back for the passion, I always say, don't come back. Don't come back.
I think one of the last things I'll say, though, is like, I think the problem with a lot of these parent companies, right, is to that point of like, kind of like using the fuel of black culture until they kind of converted into something else, right? They just converted into some other fuel that fuels other genres or other cultures. And, you know, once we get cold, but like, it's funny because I'm like, I would love for something like Fenty to last for the next 20 plus years, because usually when an artist or an actress or an actor or something like that comes out with a line or something like that that's outside of what they do and it's hot and it blows up, it usually doesn't last longer than the prime of that artist or that person, right?
Yeah.
So usually, like, think of like even in hip hop from, you know, like Rockaware and all this stuff, and you know what I mean? Like Yeezy probably would have been closest, but that was his own self-demise, because I think that would have been the one that could have just made it stretch for the next 10, 15, 20 years where it was going. But like usually it doesn't go longer than the prime of the artist. And, you know, like I don't want to see that for her personally, because I'm like, I think we need to see the longevity. We need to, as a community, we need to see the longevity of it, and we need to feed it. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, it's like, I think it's time to like, kind of like push this in a like that in a different place. So if that's the word on the street, because I'm not in the cosmetics world. I have no idea, you know what I mean, about where things are looking for that way. But like, if that's what the kind of rumor is, or if there's any truth to that, it's like, I think like we need to kind of pump the power back into it, because I'm like, you want to see something like that go on for 20 years. You know what I mean? Where like now we're not even thinking about like it's kind of like, well, Will Smith, the actor. Now we forget like, yo, Will Smith rapped? Like there's some people who don't even know Will Smith rapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
don't even know LL, right?
That's successful for that.
You know what I mean?
But
like, think about how crazy that is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously. So like with Fenty, that's kind of where I'm at with that, where it's like, you want it to be a point where it's like, oh, like we remember that Rihanna used to sing, but there might be a whole generation that's like, she sung songs. You know what I mean? Because that's how successful that line went, right? Or whatever she went. So it's like, we need to see more of those in our community. You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's kind of part of why also that I'm like, I'm okay with her not coming out with music again. But it's like, again, I just look at it at the age. I'm like, yo, you're 37. You might still have a fastball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I said, there's both sides of the coin there. But like, yeah, so it's an interesting case. But I'll leave the pod. I'll end the pod on that note though. But guys, as always, man, I think in 2026, we got to pump out at least a couple more of these a year, because I'm like, we do these like once a year, and I feel like maybe we should do at least 2 or 3, like a TED Talk or something.
Yeah, you're right.
It's always I love the conversations, man. It's always interesting. I sometimes sit back and get entertained just the two of you guys talking to me. You know what I mean? So like, you might have to do a more than, because I think the last one we did was last year. It was around this time.
Was it Outcast?
I think the Yacht Rock. Yeah, no, the Yacht Rock and the Vandross.
Oh yeah.
I gotta watch that Yacht
That was
Rock
good.
again. That was an awesome rock. That was awesome, Doc. But like I said, guys, thank you so much as always, man, for coming on the Ave and sharing your thoughts, man. I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to plug anything you guys want to plug before you go, feel free to go ahead and do that now.
Catch me on my podcast, Limer's Corner, relaunch. Got more episodes coming up, especially in 2026. The radio show, the Grooves and Rhythms radio show, of course. Got a couple of good things happening for 2026. TV show in the works also. So got a lot of things happening. But for now, DJ Chris Nice on social media, Grooves and Rhythms radio show, and Limer's Corner podcast. Until I'm back here. Until he takes me out of the janitor's room again. I'm about to get locked back in there. So when it opens up, hopefully you'll see me on here again.
Yeah. You and Quasimodo can share the basement.
Nah, man, I got nothing to plug, so I'm just happy to be here, man. I appreciate the invite. That's what's up.
Thank you for checking out the latest edition of the Ave Podcast. Special shout out goes out to DJ Chris Nice and DJ Keo for hopping on this episode and discussing these topics, mainly Rihanna and the Voodoo album. With that said, though, so next week, we got some episodes coming down this month, man. It's the start of the NFL playoffs. In terms of sports fans, football fans, get a load of those ones coming up. That will be starting next week. Not this Friday or this week, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Reason being is because I am relaunching a new episode of The Stoop. That is mostly going to be on my South Shore Ave YouTube channel, but I will put out the audio of those episodes. That one will be coming out on the 20th of January, the day after Martin Luther King Day. I will have the football playoff ones each and every Friday up until the Super Bowl. We got some basketball ones come in. State of the Raptors address. We got to do that this year. So looking forward to all of this stuff, man. So what a way to kick in the new year. So looking forward to all of it. Thank you for tuning in as always. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons and hit those 5 stars for me if you haven't hit it yet. And like I said again, man, check the SouthShoreAve.com website to dive in deep into the catalog. Once again, that is SouthShoreAve.com. All right. For DJ Keo and DJ Chris Nice, this is Cal C. And you just tuned into the latest episode right here on South Shore Ave Radio. Until next week, we out of here. Peace.